What's up, loves? It's Anam, and welcome back for part 2 of All Things Love with special guests on my channel every Friday in February. And special guests today are none other than my siblings. I'm so excited to finally have them, and we're going to be talking about the hot topic, interracial marriage. So, if you want to find out what I'm going to be asking my lovely siblings, then stay tuned. But if it's your first time on my channel, welcome. I post videos up every single Friday about life, beauty, organizing, and people that I do life with. So if you want to, hit that subscribe button down below and join me. And also a tidbit, I do have my niece in the background, so if you hear anything going on, totally normal. It's real life, guys. What are you gonna do? But before we get straight into the video of asking them questions that I had texted them, how about you guys tell us your name, your favorite color, and then one thing you love about your spouse. And I know there are multiple things you love about your spouse, but name one thing. And we'll start with you.
Hi, my name is Ryan. My favorite color would be blue. My favorite thing about my wife is the fact that she's caring. Doesn't matter who you are, she's always there to be there for you, to give you advice, even when you don't want it. She'll be there unsolicited. She'll be there because she genuinely cares about you, and I love that about her.
Aww.
Well, my name's Maria, and my favorite color is blush. I think one thing I love about Ryan is just his wittiness, because he's always making me laugh.
So
like,
witty.
and literally, it's like nonstop wittiness, and he's just hilarious and funny, and everyone knows that. Well, whoever knows him knows that. So
I love that. So awesome.
Hi, my name's Kiran, and my favorite color is lavender. And my favorite thing about my husband is that he is a nurturer to his core.
true.
And I think I needed that
Yes, you
in
did.
my marriage. So that's like my favorite thing about my husband.
A nurture, that's good.
I think you are.
Hey, my name's Westin. My favorite color, I'm gonna have to go with blue, same as Ryan. My favorite thing about my wife is definitely her love for people. Just everyone who she's around, she loves them no matter what, caring, no matter who you are, she's your best friend. So.
It's true.
I love that. It's so sweet. It makes me sick. No, but I absolutely love my siblings. They're the best in the world. So I had come up with 3 questions in regard to interracial marriage and kind of the things that maybe people go through or if they have questions about, and I really wanted to get my siblings' perspective on it because they went through it firsthand. So the first question, and any of you guys can chime in and answer or add anything, is what was the hardest thing about dating someone from a different race, or was it hard?
Oldest, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Who, me? So we did get the questions, but I didn't really, Anam sent us these questions to go over, but I didn't really want to go over them. I didn't want to be like rehearsed, so what was the question?
Well, I think
That's why you should have looked at the question.
Maybe that's why I should have looked at the questions. Was it hard, interracial marriage or relationship?
What, dating someone from a different race?
Dating someone from a different race. Off the bat, it wasn't, I guess starting a relationship wasn't really hard, but once her parents figured out we were starting a relationship, then it got, a page was turned and we discovered something else. So I have to say that we did learn, there were lots of lessons to be learned in the process of getting to know Maria and her mom, her family. But I would have to say it wasn't easy at first, but what we learned along the way was that no matter what we go through as a couple, you know, right off the bat, immediately we were hit with cultural traditions and you're Pakistani, you marry Pakistani, just different cultural traditions on the my in-laws side. It was kind of the battle. But once we just kind of stuck it out and figured things out, and we honored her parents as much as we could, we learned a couple things about each other, and that's number one, that we can make it through anything. You know, even if her own family, you know, denies her for a moment, we still have each other, and we didn't give up on our relationship or on where we were going in life, but we just continue to be laser focused on what's the main reason why we're together, because we love each other. And because of that, we kept that in the forefront of our mind. But for us, we were kind of looking past that because we're Christians, so we believe that when we come to know Jesus, we become one culture, and that's the culture of heaven. You know, so we had that in the forefront of our mind while still kind of honoring as much as we can. But we learned we can make it through anything.
I think for me, the hardest thing was just dating in general. Like, it's simple, but it was just dating, not being able to go on one-on-one dates.
We weren't allowed to.
And not being able to have him over and have family dinners. So I think for me, because like in your mind, a relationship is where you go on dates, you get to know each other.
Yeah.
You know, he comes over, she comes over, they get to know each other's families. So I think because we didn't have that aspect, that was the hardest for me personally. I mean, granted, we had conversations over text and phone and things like that, but it's still not the same as seeing that person face to face, over dinner, going to a movie together. So I think that was the hardest for me.
Yeah. You guys want to chime in on that? Because I know your guys' story was similar, but
I mean, to be honest, Ryan was like the pioneer for the family.
Yeah.
So like, obviously, he first had to experience like the interracial, how hard it was. But for me, I mean, it was our own battle in itself. I think honestly the hardest thing was just realizing like there was nothing I could do to change the situation. Like no matter how hard I tried to be like nice and how hard I tried to like put on a good front and just be super caring, like there was still like nothing I could do. So it definitely was very hard in the beginning, knowing it was so outside of my control. And I just had to keep trusting that in the end, like everything was going to work out for our relationship.
So
and I mean, for us specifically, we had opposition on both sides. So that made it tough, where it wasn't like, you know, we could go to each other's houses and be normal. It was like both
Not
ends.
allowed in houses.
So weird on both ends. But like Marie was saying, just the dating season was hard because it wasn't normal. And so off the bat, you had to tell this person, this man, hey, this
white person,
you had to tell this person off the bat, hey, like, this isn't going to be a normal dating season.
Just so you know.
Oh my god.
Like,
I think it's farther from normal.
I remember I texted Westin and I was like, hey, like, you should run the opposite way and go as far as you can.
I totally said that to Ryan a couple times too.
And Westin was like, what are you talking about? Westin had no idea, but I was like, if you're going to date me, like, marriage needs to be on the forefront, which I mean it should be, like
most definitely,
like intentionality. But I just was like, no, you're in for
the long haul.
The long haul once you say you want to date me. But
so true, so true.
I love that, and I love that you guys. When I was, because I'm an observer of whatever happened with your guys' love story, and every single situation that you guys were facing, you guys ultimately just put your trust in Jesus and knew that in the end it was going to turn out good, because you know that's who God is. God is a good God, and whatever situation he throws at us, it's always going to be good. So I love that. Next question was, how did your relationship affect your family and friends?
It didn't really affect our friends, because it's not like they treated us any better or worse. But I think it affected, I was talking to Ryan about this, it affected my relationship with my mom the most. My dad, like, he was on board, but he kind of had to please his wife and then his daughter, so he was kind of in the middle. So of course he's going to please his wife. And so a lot of times, like, yes, he approved of us, but he still had to be that middle person. So it's kind of hard. But my mom, on the other hand, she was completely like, no, like, I don't want this. I don't want this to happen. So I think for her not to accept Ryan, the person that I love, the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, was hard. But like,
there's like
my relationship, was
changed
for a while, and I became a little distant from my mom. So I think it was just the relationship with my mom. Ummi.
We call her Ummi.
We call her Ummi. That was
What about you, Kiran?
I think ours was both sides, family and friends, kind of were like, what do you guys do? Because Westin kind of came out of nowhere.
That's true.
And so literally
from the book,
I was like, who is this guy? What's his Facebook? Is it set to private?
He literally came out of nowhere, guys.
He came out of nowhere, and my family, my friends, I remember people being like, Kiran, you grew up in the church, you're like this, like, you know, perfect church girl. And then there's Westin, which Westin grew up in church, by the way. But
we saw his photos.
Life happens, but I just everyone was kind of like, who's this guy? You know? And did you kind of feel that, like, from both sides?
I mean, let's be honest. When I first came to your family, Ryan's siblings, brother, were like, threatening. We went
I know this
shooting.
goal.
We went shooting the first time I met all of their side of the family, and they're all like side-eyeing me when they got guns in their hands, like, you better treat her right, boy.
Right. First date.
Right.
Like, so it definitely was, I would say our friends definitely were, I was kind of like outside looking in. I wasn't as good of friends like with your friends, so that when I came in, I think a lot of them were like, they just had to get to know me and who I am and kind of realize, okay, he's not that bad. I'm not that bad.
He's the best.
But definitely family was a big like struggle for me, because I got both sides, and I also got it from like my dad as well. So kind of having my dad, our relationship changing, and then kind of with her mom, just like trying to please both, and that whole situation, it definitely was a huge struggle at first. I mean, a lot of stuff that, you know, you look back on and wish maybe it could have went differently, but at the end of the day, I mean, I love both of them so much, and but it was a struggle. It was a big struggle in the beginning.
And you took it. Oh, no, go for it.
And just to add to that, like, I think a lot of it was with more Maria and Karen's mom, just kind of the cultural traditions and the pressure that Miriam was under to appease her family, maybe in Pakistan or.
That's what she knew.
Yeah, because all she's ever known was arranged marriages, Pakistani. So for like Maria and Karen to kind of pioneer and go outside of that, it was hard for her. And I remember, like, you know, I knew Maria since I was like 16, so I would go over to Maria and Anam and Karen's house, and her mom would make food, and we'd have a good time, and her mom would say, "I love you, you're like a son," and I was like, "I'm gonna become a son," you know, become your real son. So like, but as soon as we like began a relationship, and I had a conversation with her dad, and then her mom figured it out, it was like an instant change. Our relationship went from being the son, you know, to being like Rebecca. Like, so in their household, I was not Ryan anymore. I was Rebecca. So when they would talk about me,
we had
it'd be,
a
code name. So Rebecca, interesting, huh?
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. So
I'm like, well, how was Rebecca? No, because I told him off the bat.
he could be Wendy. He could be Wendy.
Wendy. Just W.
We never called him Wendy.
We are now.
Wendy.
No, so like
me as Wendy.
Like, I know, so I think that it went from being a son to kind of being like the outcast, not allowed to say my name in their house. But like through sticking it out, and like with Westin sticking out through the cultural traditions and loving Karen and loving her mom and loving her dad through the whole process, it was amazing to see that her mom's heart just kind of shifted, you know, just like that. And I don't know, I know there's cultural traditions that were playing into it, but I also think that part of it was like her mom, her dad trying to figure out if we were for real. If we were going to stick through the cultural traditions and just kind of the different things that are interesting about that culture. It's like kind of like a test, you know, and once we passed the test, we got a wedding ring, put it on their fingers. Everything changed. Everything changed. So it's back. There's no going back. It's back to normal. But there was a negative aspect to it. But in the end, like, when love was at the center, God got the glory, things turned around.
So good. Wow. I didn't even know some of this stuff that is coming out on this couch. I love it though. Okay, so last question that I want to ask you guys. What advice would you give to someone who is in an interracial relationship and afraid or nervous to tell their parents?
First of all, you just have to make sure that that's a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and be certain of that, because in our culture, you just have to be sure. Because the conversation that you're going to have with your parents is, are you going to marry this person? So it's like you have to know, and then you kind of just have to be open with your parents about it. I know it's going to be hard. I mean, granted, no doubt it's going to be hard, but you have to have that conversation. And I feel like, they'll be frustrated at first, but I know that they appreciate it because you're being open. And then respect them as far as listen to them and listen what they have to say. But at the end of the day, even if they, let's say, disagree to a certain extent, you know, you're both adults. You both love each other. You want to spend the rest of your life, and you have peace about it. You've prayed about it, and it's like at that point, you kind of just have to do what you have to do.
I'll say this: shady is not smart. Okay. So it doesn't matter what relationship relationship you're in, whether that's
Oh.
interracial or
regular relationship,
whatever that means. Like, if you're hiding it from the people that you trust the most, your family or your friends, you feel like, I need to keep this hidden because no one's going to understand, no one's going to relate to me, my parents are never going to get it.
Yeah.
Just do it and have it be open and let people know, because truly what made us stronger was having our siblings and having our friends say, hey, like, we like this.
Yeah.
Hey, we have peace about this. Hey, we think this is God. And so that really instilled a lot of confidence even in our dating season, because people were like, we're pro you guys.
And I think even like just having those friends that encourage us, because along the way we're like, oh my gosh, like, should there be this much like struggle if this is the right thing? Like, should we be struggling this hard? And they're kind of like, no, like, this is good. Like, you guys need to keep going. Like, you need to keep going in your relationship. But I think for encouraging guys, if you're on the aspect of dating a girl that's a different race, or you're struggling in an interracial dating relationship or marriage, the biggest thing you need is patience. Like 100%. You have to know that, like, you cannot control the outcome. You have to be patient with your wife. You have to be patient with your in-laws. You have to be patient with siblings, and just really continue to love them. Like,
that's good.
Like Ryan has said, I mean, that's probably the biggest advice, is loving them even though you probably aren't going to get that love back in the beginning, and just really believing that, you know what, this is good. This is like, this is God ordained. And honestly, just praying for your relationship, praying for, I remember just praying for your mom just every single day. So I would say that right there is probably, I know, one thing you can do if you're in this type of scenario.
Well, that was such good advice, guys. Thank you so much for your input, and I know that people who are watching this are going to be encouraged as well, and I just can't wait to see the responses from this video. But to end on a very light note, I decided to play a game with my lovely siblings, and it's basically a how well do you know your spouse. So I texted individually all of my siblings these questions, so they don't know each other's answers, and we're hoping that when I ask them the question, their answers are the same. So as soon as I ask you guys a question, you'll flip it over and reveal the answer. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Good. Okay. First question that I asked them. Who said I love you first?
Right there.
You better, bro.
Okay, second question. Does your wife like getting flowers on Valentine's Day? If so, what's her favorite type of flower? Okay, what did you guys put? Yes, white roses. Yes, white roses. Someone said peonies.
My bad.
Brian likes roses.
White roses.
But they at least got the first part right. Yes, don't worry, it does like getting flowers.
I do like, I do.
This is now competition.
Anderson's 1, Jacob's 0.
Actually, it's actually 2 to 0.
Oh, I love that.
That's true.
Okay, third question. How much do you think you should spend on your spouse on Valentine's Day?
See, I had that number the first time around.
I said 50. She said 25.
Ready?
Hello.
I seriously had 50. I seriously had 50.
We got way different answers, baby. $100.
Our anniversary's right next to Valentine's Day.
Wow,
We're going to combo. So $25 for you.
You are spoiled, Kiran.
I think it's a healthy thing though when the man in the relationship values their wife so much they're willing to spend.
If I put like $10. $10.
Check yourself.
I got a 20.
So bad. Okay, fourth question. What is your husband's favorite chocolate?
Okay.
Alright, let's do ours first, Ryan. Let's put ours up first.
Okay, ready,
Let's
Kiran
see.
Westin? J5!
Reese's Fast. I knew
If you don't know what a Take 5 is, let me tell
where
you.
are you?
It is peanut butter, chocolate, and pretzel all mixed into one.
Matter of fact, we're gonna take 5 right now. We'll get some.
Yeah. So take 5.
I love it. Okay, and then the last question is this. What movie would you both watch on Valentine's Day?
No way.
Okay, let's see. Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
Good.
Are you kidding me?
We're so
Let me
married.
put it up first.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Whoa!
Yeah. Okay. What'd you
And ours?
Oh,
Are
so
you
was in Seattle or
We
you
literally
got
have
mail?
the same. Oh, you got
Okay.
mail.
Oh my
Which one's that one? Meg
Meg
Ryan.
Ryan and
They're both
Tom
Meg
Hanks.
Ryan and Tom Hanks.
I like how
So-
you
I
guys,
knew you'd say.
your movies are so sweet and we're like, Mission
Impossible.
We got a double word score. A double movie
Seriously?
score
So
here.
we're tied. We're tied
That's
now.
actually impressive.
Oh my gosh. I
The
love
fact that you put both, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put both.
You guys both put both, and it was actually, your answers were really funny when you texted them to me, so. Well, I hope you guys found this video encouraging and maybe just even got to know Kiran, Westin, Maria, and Ryan a little bit more through their story of what it was like to date someone from a different race. And if you do like videos like this or just want to see more of my siblings, then please give this video a thumbs up, and I would love to create these videos for you. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm looking forward to next week, and I love you so much.
Bye.
Don't want to be in this.
Okay, but we'll put the phone down. Let's say hi. You broke it. No, she broke it. Come on, no, say hi first.
Can you say hi?
Say hi.
Say hi. Bella, go sit down. Watch your show. Watch your show.